Take a sip of your drink.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, we're back with part 3.
Oh, what have you been up to?
Oh man,
been playing
what games have I been playing? What I've been watching? Oh, okay. Well, I can start with something I've been playing. I have been playing a little indie RPG by Sabotage called Sea of Stars.
Have also been playing this game, which is known as Sea of Stars, done by an indie company.
I think I'm probably really further ahead than you.
You're playing it a lot?
Yeah, I think I'm near the end, but...
I played the first 3 hours of it.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you.
So, you're definitely ahead of me on that.
I really like... I have some, like, obviously, my opinion of this game is, first off, if you love pixel art games... Oh, this game is gorgeous. Absolutely.
Would you say it's better looking than Crosscode?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Really? Better than Crosscode?
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man.
That's a big statement.
So many the environments you go to are so good. Like,
they are good, yeah.
There's a lot,
vibe to it.
And I love the pacing. It doesn't drag at all. There's like literally no drag. It's like you're jumping from thing to thing to environment to environment. And they're so diverse as well. They're not like the boring like kind of like environments, you know. They're like really imaginative, cool environments.
Yeah, there are levels where you can jump and climb and solve puzzles. It's not just, you know, walk around and wait for the next fight, and you're actually interacting with the level as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love the jumping mechanic because there's like a lot of, again, like Crosscode, there's a lot of jump puzzles where you kind of have to kind of work out your way around. They're not that difficult, but they're fun. Like you kind of work your way around the environment, and you get like a few tools here and there that like change things a little bit. I don't exactly know how far into the game you are. Where are you up to? If you just gave me a little... I
just beat the mole boss.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The mole wizard.
I won't say anything then, because story of this game's really bloody good. Like, this is a really good story.
It takes some twists.
It's got some shockers.
Nice.
Some things that I never saw coming, and
that's cool.
Like, and the cool thing is they're very much hinted at the very beginning of the game. You've already seen it, actually. Yeah,
there's been talks on, like, why are they sending these people out to beat this evil... What is it? Is it evil wizard, I think it is? Because they get trained.
Yeah, they get trained. They're like... So basically the story is, like, they get
sent out into the world.
They're, like... They come from, like... They say they come from, like, the Stalk or whatever, like, and then they get they get sent to Moon Cradle, where they get trained as solstice warriors, which are like these people who control the sun and the moon, or like born of the sun and the moon, and
lunar and soul magic.
Yeah, lunar and soul magic. Yeah, and they are sent out and trained to beat these things called dwellers, and I won't say too much because man. Game takes some good turns and twists, and
yeah, that's cool because so far
it's very basic at the moment. I know what you're thinking.
It's basic. Go out and beat the bad guy, and you know, find some traveling companions that join your party as you go along, and grand epic adventure to beat the evil wizard overlord dude.
Yeah.
But I know that people, this is game of the year for a lot of people as well, so I'm not just expecting that. I am expecting some pretty neat twists.
That because there's a lot. And it's not.
It's like I'm playing it and I'm like, this is good, this is fun, it's got great interactivity, but I'm like, I'm sure there's gonna be much more to this later on, because right now I'm just doing the really basic stuff where, you know, I'm doing the dungeon crawling, I'm doing the fights. I'm going through the text box of the story. I'm beating up bad guys to save the land and whatnot.
Yeah, story gets really good. Like I'm heavily invested in it now. It's a very good story.
Nice one. Cool.
And it's not. I don't think the game's too long for an RPG. It doesn't seem super long, but it seems like a good amount. It seems like a good length. It seems like I reckon this game's like 40 hours long. 40 to 30. Maybe.
Yeah, that's pretty staple RPG.
It's a pretty
Not bad.
standard like RPG. Like it's a good length. That's a good length for an RPG.
That's cool.
Yeah, and like it's definitely like the environments get so much more creative, man. The dungeons get so much more creative.
It's not just jungle and island environments.
No. There's more and more.
Ooh.
But yeah, no, it's always jumping from place to place. You don't ever stay in a place too long. Like you're always like moving around. And the characters are so they've got good depth to them as well. I like them. They're really good. Like Gale's my favorite.
Just got to the he's the guy that I just picked up a couple hours ago, and of course he's a childhood friend, but he's not a Solstice warrior like the other two are. He's just a tag along, right?
Yeah.
But he's cool because like he's the cook and the healer, and he's got more experience out on the field.
Yeah.
And he had an accident as a kid as well, and you can see it because obviously the time skip has happened now. And you see the ramifications of what happened back then.
Yeah.
And I'm sensing some. I've not hit it yet, but I've got a feeling that some depth is gonna come out. Hopefully for the main two as well.
There is.
So far they're just molded to be like the links of the adventure. The hero to go out and be the bad guy.
Yeah, I won't spoil. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you because it's honestly worth experiencing.
Because obviously when you first begin, you've got the warriors that came before them both, and they're obviously saying like some shady shit about what is actually going on and the happenings of how it's all coming to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing when that comes ahead.
No, and I think
the battle system's really cool as well. It's very addictive. It's actually one of the games where if I leave a zone, but when I go back and I think, oh, actually, I think I missed a treasure chest in this area, and the enemies respawn, I get into a fight with them, I don't groan. I'm just like, okay, cool, let's fight again. Which is kind of rare for an RPG like that, because the battle system is really fun in a way that it's like a mixture of Chrono Trigger and I would say Paper Mario, because I've played Paper Mario and not Super Mario RPG, but it's got more Mario RPG elements from what I've heard, correct?
Yeah, Mario and Luigi. Like
it's more comparable to that. Yeah, Mario Luigi saga.
A little bit.
You press buttons to do more attacks.
If you time your button
block
inputs,
before an attack hits you. Yeah, that's right. And it's got a really neat mechanic as well, where if you just use a regular attack, these little orbs pop out. And you can actually choose to hit enemies normally to save them up, and then you can actually absorb those orbs to make your next attack stronger. Which is really cool because it means that you can really do some clever shit in the game too, because there are enemies that you can interrupt with certain attack attributes. So there's blunt, there's sword, of course there's soul and lunar as well. And you see a little timer when they're about to do a big attack. And if you're able to knock out all the icons with certain weapon attributes, so
you cancel
for example, a big dragon's about to shoot a big giant energy ball at you, and then suddenly you see a soul sign and a sword sign come up. And it's like, oh, we'll use a character who has a sword attack and a soul attack. And then if you get them more, it just cancels out the enemy's attack completely.
Which is actually needed to survive in this game. Wait until you get later on.
You can't get your ass whooped.
Wait until you get...
Yeah, it's real basic at the moment for me.
Wait until you get later on.
When that mechanic got introduced, I literally thought, oh no, this is going to be
wait until you get later on. That whole cancelling magic and like stuff with the symbols and stuff, that is like needed to survive some attacks. Like if you don't, you're probably dead. So in some ways,
I like that.
In some ways, it's a bit like it turns the fights into a bit of a puzzle, because you get a certain amount, like as you said, you get a timer of a certain amount of actions before they're gonna attack, and you need to break all their symbols on top before they do the attack. No, it's really good. I love how the battle system works. It's actually really fun. It turns every battle into a bit of a puzzle in some ways. So it's fun.
Really
it makes you think about what attacks you need to use. And again,
it takes a lot of similar elements from other RPGs and puts them together and makes its own really cool blend of gameplay, which is really neat.
It definitely does its own thing as well as just being like it definitely expands on the whole.
It makes it stand out.
The only thing I would say I don't like about Sea of Stars is the move list itself. No, not the actual, like, the move list itself is kind of small. But other than that,
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, because I've been stuck with the same super moves for the last 5 hours now.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering when I'm going to get some new stuff.
You do get new stuff. You do get new stuff. But I'm just saying it's not as big as I would like it to be. But it's still a good arsenal of moves. It's just not a very big one. So.
Yeah.
Because, again, there are some points where it's like, that is, like, one of the blemishes I'll say behind. But when the game is so fun and, like, when the story really gets going, and you'll see when it does, it is a really good time. Like, I really enjoy it. It's actually probably, like, one of my favourite games this year as well. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, looking forward to playing more.
No.
I actually can do now because I have finally finished Armored Core 6.
Hey.
3 times.
You have.
By the way.
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah, you have.
Because it's got multiple endings, and the way it works in terms of different endings is slightly different from your usual FromSoft game in that you've actually got to go through New Game Plus, and then you get access to a completely unique ending in New Game Plus Plus.
Oh my god.
And this does require you to go through all the missions again.
Oh,
however, you get branching paths in a New Game Plus. In New Game, right? When you just play the game, you only get a branching path in the final chapter, and that's how you choose your ending out of 2.
Okay.
I went for the Fires of Raven ending.
Ooh,
and I can already hear people shaking their heads in the comments for me picking this one because this is considered the game's bad ending. However, that's the reason why I actually picked it.
Yeah.
Because I was having so much fun with this game that I was like, oh yeah, I'm absolutely going New Game Plus this and get the quote-unquote good ending as well. And even then, it's got that typical FromSoft grey morality where it's like, you got a seemingly good conclusion, but you had to kill these great characters who have been helping you throughout the game as well in order to get it sort of like
they're very good
as well.
At doing that.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. That's what I love about FromSoft stories.
Very
is that
nuanced.
They're never cut and dry perfect. Yeah, there's always a price. There's always a catch,
sign of
which is great.
Good, like, story when it's not always cut and dry, right? Like when it's like you walk away and you're like, that's probably how it would be. Like, it wouldn't wrap itself up in a nice little bow like that.
It's got a really cool world.
Yeah.
It's got some great lore as well. It's a really neatly told story as well. Because it's got more cutscenes and I wouldn't say more dialogue and cutscenes than like Elden Ring, but the way it's structured, because it's mission-based structured as well. Because you know you've got your mission control and. Because obviously the setting is that you're on a planet and there's this substance called coral which all these corporations are fighting over for, and you've got all these different factions. I've got the different reasons for being on Rubicon, and you're just a freelance merc, and you've got a handler who's telling you to just get some jobs because you are basically an augmented human. But you're under the long story short, you're under the care of this dude, and you basically pick up missions for any corporation who to the highest bidder.
We did talk about like that, didn't we?
Yeah, and but however, as the story goes on, you find out motivations for certain characters, such as what your boss is actually really after on the planet.
Yeah.
And also, this is kind of a minor spoiler, but you also get a second mission controller, and she is actually. She's okay. Oh no, I can't really say too much
you
about
could say
spoiling
in your.
About it,
Are you gonna?
To be
didn't
honest.
you say you were gonna?
And she's kind of like a more idealistic kind of mirror to your handler's more cynical, straight-laced kind of like personality, which is really cool. And as the game goes on, and corporations get more involved, and also I call them the planet feds. Also get involved as well, and some of the corporations work together as well to screw over the cops, which is really neat. And the cool thing about Armored Core is that these characters, you never see them. The only thing you get to see which kind of gives them a sense of identity is their personality, their emblem, and their mech.
Yeah.
And the game is so well voice acted that it's really clever. I don't know how FromSoft does it, where it just makes all these lovable characters and you don't even fucking see them. Like, they've not got models. It's just their mechs and their emblems and what they do and how you hear all the intercom and stuff. But gameplay, which I'll talk more about now that I've beaten the game 3 times, is that it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
But the challenge in there is obviously, I mean, it's partially skill, but the big thing in passing this game is your build.
Yeah.
And unlike our FromSoft games where you have to get a build and commit unless you get certain items there where you can just respec and whatnot.
Yeah.
You freely get to change a build because it's all about getting parts for your mech and choosing what weapons would be better for another job. So, for example, you'll fight a really hard boss in Chapter 1 and he uses shields, and your really cool, super awesome missile mech which has been tearing for the gamer, is suddenly getting its fucking ass pounded by this shield boss because the missiles just aren't enough.
Yeah.
So what do? You get pulse guns, which are made to actually delete an enemy shield, and you just cream the boss because of just that one like difference in change.
A bit like a puzzle, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It really goes. It's a lot of it can be trial and error sometimes because you can just find a build that works, and then suddenly you'll just hit a wall in a certain situation because the build just does not work as well as others. I mean, if you're really good at the game, you can make any build work, to be honest. But a lot of the challenge in the game is just knowing what works for what situation and what boss. And all the enemies are kind of they're very easy. Yeah, I would say they're not a massive threat at all, because they do chip damage to you, and you've got 3 heals as well, and by the time that you finish the mission, they've really not really put even a dent in your mech. The real difficulty comes from AC on AC fights, which is basically Armor Core's equivalent of finding another Tarnished that is basically you, but with a different build. Sort of like PvE as PvP, kind of like computer-controlled fight, if that makes any sense. Yeah. And the bosses, which if you do not have a good build for how to handle a boss, can absolutely crush your balls. I was coasting really well in Chapter 4, and then the end game Chapter 4 boss fight, which I will actually call the Millennia Robot, I was stuck on for hours, and I was absolutely tearing my hair out trying to figure out how to beat this nightmare of a boss. And then I just started to experiment more with my build, because I'm going like, you know what, Armor Core is kind of as a test of pride sometimes, because you're in love with this build that's got you throughout most of the game's challenges, and then the build just doesn't work on this boss, and you're like, no, but I can make it work, it's been getting me by through so many, and you get attached to it, and then suddenly you bite the bullet, and then you think, okay, I need something that can actually hard counter this boss, and then I found the magic key, and I used it against the boss, and after about 2 more attempts using that build, I fucking won. I was like, okay, it's clicked. It's all about choosing the right loadout. Yeah. And that's cool, because what that does is that it pushes you to customize, and the customization in this game is amazing, because there are so many creative builds that you can do. You can have a build that can proc a stats called Electric. You can have a Tread armored core that can have dual Gatling guns. That's just a fucking walking tank that will never stagger. You can go for a lightweight mech that has no HP, but you will be untouchable because you're zipping about and no one can fucking touch you. There are mechs that are better at jumping. There are ones that are better at hovering in the air and sustained in the air, where you can bombard them with bombs. There are melee builds, there are long range builds, close range builds, energy weapon builds, kinetic weapon builds, explosive builds. There's so many different ways you can experiment. I end up having about 20 different armor cores for certain situations, and it was so much fun swapping between the two and knowing the moveset of each one, because you can have about 4 weapons equipped. You can have shoulder weapons, hand weapons, and you can get certain chips that you can get that can basically give you certain special moves like a shield, a pulse blast. You can even get a really cool technique where you can actually put hand weapons on your shoulders, and instead of just like using the buttons that would normally fire your shoulder weapons, you actually swap between the weapons. from your hands.
That's it.
Like Dark Souls styles. It's so fucking cool. There's so many insane builds, and the cool thing about Armor Core is that you can actually get a code from a certain mech that you make. You can put it online, and then someone can type in the code and use that mech in the game.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, it's real sweet.
That is a cool idea.
The online, it's a really cool online implications where you can help people without using guilds and stuff like that.
Is there an online?
Just give a code for your mech.
Is there like an online PvP arena or not really?
There is a PvP arena, yeah. And the way it works is that you unlock this, I think, when you beat Chapter 2, and I dabbled in it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not a PvP man at all.
Yeah.
But it's a fun mode because it's an arena mode where you can choose to go one-on-one, or you could do team battles like the patch for Elden Ring. So you can do 3 versus 3, and you can do like one-on-one, and it's cool. You just get shot in a little arena. It's you and your mechs, and it's all about who gets the most kills by the end of the turn.
Nice.
It's not like you die and then you're out. It's all about ranking up kills until time runs out, and then you get the results. And that's it, which is great.
Yeah,
because it's not very. It doesn't feel competitive. You can be competitive on it.
Yeah,
but I find it more like a fun pastime more than anything.
There are no leaderboards,
and I don't think there are leaderboards. Again, I've not really dabbled in it enough. I might have to look into it a little bit more to kind of know or not. I don't think it does, you know.
Okay. So it is just.
I know there are rooms.
Yeah, there's rooms.
You just join a room and you.
So it's just like you said,
people.
it just sounds like a little pastime rather than like a competitive actual like thing that could take like, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because I see it more as like a fun little pastime, and the fun thing about the mode is not like you don't get your ass whooped and then you're out of the game for the rest of the match. It's like, no, it's just you die, but then you respawn and you get back in there and you rack up some kills. And it's fun.
Oh, nice.
It's a decent little game mode.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, Armored Core 6 is a real fun experience.
I'm glad you've had
a
fun time with it, man.
It's a solid ass game, and you know what the thing about Armored Core 6 is that despite things being easy and despite some difficulty spikes depending on what build you've got, and like you might not like the mission based stuff, it's fun. It's fucking fun, and that's the most important thing about a video game, man. Armored Core 6 is a fucking fun play. It's well good.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it if you just want a fun time with
games
mechs.
don't have to be all serious all the time. They can be fun.
Yeah. I am not really big into the mech genre. The only like mech show I've watched is Code Geass, which
technically counts.
I guess it does technically count.
You watched Eva.
Gurren Lagann, Eva. Yeah. I've not touched Gundam, which is obviously the big de facto mech show.
I've never touched Gundam.
But honestly, I was so invested in the mech customization in this game that I feel like I need to explore the genre a little bit more. To be honest, Armored Core 6 has kind of got me into it. It's fun.
Maybe go back and play the other Armored Core games.
I've already played Armored Core 2, so although I always want me to do.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you enjoyed Armored Core.
It's neat, yeah, it's a good time, mate.
Well, other things, not video games, but I did watch Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
What's it like? I've not started
I'll tell you what,
yet.
man. It, like, Castlevania Nocturne, because obviously this is coming off of the original Castlevania series on Netflix, which was, did it have a subheading or did it just call Castlevania?
It was just called Castlevania.
Yeah. Okay, so Castlevania Nocturne does think about it like this. It's a bit like going from part 1 to part 2 in like a JoJo sense.
Because it's Belmont's, so obviously it's a family story, isn't it?
Yeah, the Belmont's down the line.
Shit.
So we're jumping like a few hundred years ahead in Nocturne. It's to do with Richter Belmont.
The hero of Dracula X / Wonder of Blood.
It's cool. Like I really like the like I thought the art style in Castlevania always looked like fantastic. Like the animation always looked fantastic in the original show, but somehow they've managed to top themselves and make it even better.
It looks super pretty.
It is so like every second you pause the show, it could be a screensaver.
Nice.
It's so good. I really like the characterization of Richter Belmont as well. He's not the same as Trevor. He's a bit different because he's younger, obviously, than Trevor. And he's got a bit of a cockiness, but not the same kind of level of Trevor had, you know. Trevor was quite a cocky guy, whereas Richter's a bit more doubting in himself a bit and stuff. I like the side characters. I don't really know much about Ruta Belmont as a game character because I never played the Rondo. Was it Rondo Blood? I think it was Rondo Blood.
Yeah, Rondo Blood. And Richter was also in Symphony of the Night as well.
Oh yeah, he was vaguely in that one, wasn't he?
You play as Alucard.
Yeah. But yeah, the episodes, the pacing's good. Like they had like quiet episodes and they had action-packed ones. It was a really good watch. Honestly, I do recommend this one because if you like the original Castlevania, it's just like that, except that, you know, more of it and more lore into the Castlevania universe, which I really do like the Netflix Castlevania universe. It's actually very...
Does it? Yeah, it's a different universe. It's not the game
universe.
No,
it's not the game. It takes elements.
Different.
There are definitely characters and enemies, obviously, that appear from the Castlevania games. They take elements, but they make their own... They make their own stories out of it, you know? Like, they definitely are going, like, their own way, but it works. Like, it's really fun. I don't know whether it will lead into said stories of Rondo Blood and, like, Symphony of the Night and all that. I don't...
The last one didn't.
No.
So
no, but it definitely works. It works in its own, like, world. Like, the action is fantastic, though. Like, God, some of the action set pieces in this are so good.
Yeah,
like, oh my God.
They were great in the original too.
Yeah, no, they just somehow top themselves, and I don't know how they do it all the time, but Christ. And I already heard that this is getting this isn't a one-off, this is getting another series, like, in its world, so it's definitely, like, a chapter-based thing, because there's only 8 episodes at the moment, and then it's getting another part to it, so it's, like, you know how, like, you had Castlevania Season 1, 2, and 3, and 4? This is probably going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. Like, it'll be, like, broken into parts.
That surprised me.
Like, it's like sagas, I guess, in a way, more than...
Love it.
Yeah, it's really good. No, you got to get on this one, man. Like, the setting's good. It's set in an area of France, back in the old days, the very old days.
Is there a revolution going on
again?
Yeah,
there's a revolution in France happening. Always the revolutions in France, yeah. But yeah, it's a bit further ahead. There's some connections. They do a little bit of JoJo-y stuff, but not like you know, with like previous characters, but not just mentions. Not like any. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, it's definitely taking the JoJo Bizarre Adventure route in the sense that it's like jumping ahead in time and ancestries and all that. So yeah, the Belmont clan. It's good. Very good. The villain.
Nice one.
The villain is interesting. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really worth watching.
Interesting.
I won't spoil it. There's some amazing character design, so there's definitely going to be some fan art I haven't looked into. But there's definitely some fan art for some of these characters, I bet. Certain individuals.
When is the studio going to take on Berserk? There'd be great candidates for that.
That'd be amazing for that.
Do you remember that one scene in the last Castlevania series where it's just like someone in a certain suit of armor with a massive sword just cleaving through armies, and I'm just like, oh, this is just a pitch for a Berserk fan-made Netflix series. And honestly, I'd be down for that because look at it.
They would do a good job with Berserk, but they
Yeah.
do such a fantastic job with Castlevania that like I can see why they want to keep riding this train. Cause I'm all in on the new season. Cause I'm really enjoying it so far. Like I can't wait for the.
I'm glad it's good. Because usually when you take creative liberties, quote unquote, with a certain franchise and you change it into your own thing, sometimes that can lead into a lot of controversy as well. But I don't mind it if studios and shows and series do that, as long as it's good.
Yeah.
And as long as it pays like respectful or homage to the original source material, like not copying it, but just like pays good respects to it, if that makes any sense.
And they do that cool thing
Right?
where the video game soundtrack is used in certain ways.
Oh man, that Bloody Tears remix in the
they do
TV
it
show
with
was so fucking
They do it
good
with
when they
another
did it.
moment in here. Not like
man.
a different song from
shit.
Castlevania, but
Oh
yeah.
damn it. Okay,
yeah.
alright. That sold me alone, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, it was really good. I'm really it's only, again, this is like the setting up, I would say, series, the setting up part. Like, there's some action bits and stuff, but like, obviously it's like the setup for what's to come in the next like season of this show. So
As season ones do. Yeah.
Sets everything
Build the
up.
world
Yeah.
and all that shit.
Yeah, because they have to start again, don't they, with a new like cast of characters and stuff. So yeah, I can't remember if because you would know, actually, you might know. Do you know if there's there's a game character called Marie in Castlevania?
Maria Renard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's quite a popular character in Castlevania. She was in the same games as Richter, and she's also in Symphony of the Night as well.
Oh shit.
She controls animals and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So they are kind of using, again, they're using elements of the games, but not completely.
Oh man, Maria's in the series. Nice.
Yeah, she's the main character, one of the main characters.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you have
Alright.
to get on that eventually and let me know what you think of it.
Yeah, I may have to.
I think that's it for me. I didn't really do anything else. Can't think of anything else.
Yeah,
No?
I feel like that's a decent finish to the segment.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.